What's up, everyone? Welcome into More Important Issues. More Important Issues is brought to you by our sponsors, Tennessee Tap House, Hound Dogs, Billy's Tap 40 Bar and Grill in Powell, and Blue Water Climate Control. And here's a quick word from our good friends at Blue Water Climate Control.
People always ask, where did we get the name Blue Water Climate Control? When a Navy ship casts off lines, exits the harbor, and loses sight of land, that's blue water sailing. It takes a team of people to do that. Tireless work, focus, and attention to detail. So much of starting a business is just like that. After it's done, you get filled with deep satisfaction for accomplishing something. And it's quickly followed by, now the real work begins. We're Blue Water Climate Control.
Vols are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! Brought us by Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre, and Tennessee can say hello win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Welcome in, guys, to another episode of More Important Issues. It is Thursday, August 5th. Football is officially back, right? Officially Hall of Fame game. I know some, I don't know. I haven't seen anyone complain, so that's good. Sometimes you have some people that are like, it's preseason. I don't care, but it's football. We've missed it.
Yeah, it was weird. I was listening to a betting show, like sports betting show, and they're like, yeah, bet on the game tonight. And I'm like, there's a football game tonight? Holy crap.
There's a football game tonight. You'll actually see VFL Josh Dobbs in the second half, and there you go, Tennessee fans, if you needed a reason to tune in. I think for me, I didn't go to a game last year. I went to some high school football games, but I didn't go to a single college football game. So it's really felt like it's been much longer than it has since we haven't had football. And it looks full. I don't know what the actual capacity is at, but it's good to have it back. Tennessee's in full swing. We will talk about, of course, fall camp, along with our position preview, and that's running backs tonight. I told Landon before the show, I'm pretty excited. There's a guy on this roster that I didn't know was still on this roster, so that got me a little fired up coming into this episode. So I'm pretty pumped about that. We've got some more roster news, mostly some retirements, guys that had to leave the program due to some medical issues. We'll discuss all the updates to the roster, as well as Tennessee getting some commits. Now, this is, of course, for the 2022 class. So, yeah, Tennessee needs some more bodies, but not going to happen now. Tennessee, 2 guys in the NBA draft, first round, second time in 3 years, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. We'll talk about those guys, where they landed, and more about the Vols in the NBA. Drop your questions in the chat. Tell us where you're listening from. Of course, we've got some segments for you, and we'll hit on all of those. Hope everyone's having a great night. Let's get this thing going. Let's talk about the running backs. Position preview continues as we lead up to the season. Tennessee's home opener, just 29 days away. Is that right?
Yeah, a little Inky Johnson days.
There you go. Perfect. 29 days until kickoff. It is a Thursday night, so we will not have a show for you that night. I just realized that as I said it. Maybe a Wednesday episode. We might go back to our old ways. I don't know.
Hey, we'll do a live episode.
We can. Yeah, we can do a live episode.
So you're not going to the game, are you?
I will not be at that game, but I will be on my couch watching, and I can phone you in.
All right, yeah, we'll do that.
Bring Landon live from on scene, reporting live.
I'll get the microphone and everything.
Perfect. I'm up for it. That sounds great to me. So we'll definitely do that. Let's kick it off. I'm gonna mention the first name out here. The guy I'm probably top 2 guys I'm excited for. Tyon Evans. I swear I remember him entering the transfer portal. He got here from Hutchinson Community College.
That was everybody else, Caleb. You got him confused.
Yeah, no, the other 35 guys that hit the transfer portal. I'm not saying I thought he left, because I did never see an announcement for like where he was going to school, but I did think he at least had entered it at one point. Landon informed me I was wrong. I dreamt it. I thought maybe Tyon coming here, number 1 JUCO running back, was too good to be true. He had a lot of great things to say about Knoxville too, so I don't know why I thought that. My apologies, Tyon Evans. But he's here. He loves Knoxville. I think he's going to be a great addition. I think he could be the number 1 back first day, because when you look at these running backs, not that no one's, of the skill level or has the ability to be the number 1 back, but it's wide open. This is a position that both guys that got serious playing time vacated, with Todd Chandler transferring, using his COVID year to go to UNC, and then Eric Gray, of course, exiting for Oklahoma once Jeremy Pruitt left. So this is wide open. Jabari Small has the most touches on the team, and 20 touches last year, maybe
26 carries.
So not a whole lot working there. So as far as number 1 JUCO back, I think that obviously says a lot about him coming from a quality program, but also it plays nicely for him, the program he came into.
Yeah, I think this is this room, like when you look at the production, there's not a ton of experience on it, but you like what you have talent-wise. Jabari Small, we mentioned that 26 carries last season for like 117 yards. D. Beckwith is the only other guy on this roster who had a carry. He had 3 carries for 25 yards last season. So not a ton of production. You lost kind of all that production with guys who opted to go elsewhere. Didn't, really give this staff a chance at all. And, whatever. I think those guys really could have benefited from being, and not that they couldn't benefit the teams they're at now, but,
right.
I think they would have been just fine in this offense. But Golish talked about, when he met with the media the other day, he talked a lot about Jabari Small. And so it seems to me like unless somebody just goes and beats him out in fall camp, it seems like he's going to be your number 1 back.
He definitely, having the most carries of the team last year, he was impressive. One thing I am curious, and I've got to think when you look at how this offense is ran, it's going to be similar to how your wide receivers benefit. And we even spoke about this a little bit with tight ends, but speed. And I'm not saying Jabari's slow by any means, but you didn't get to see him really utilize his speed much. When he was getting touches, it was mostly between the tackles. And what he did utilize was the size that he has. Not that he's just a huge guy. He's 5'11", 206, but every bit of pad he had, he used and was really physical. And I am kind of interested to see what that speed looks like. I think it's Tyon and Jabari that are probably those 1 and 2 guys. I think you could probably put them anywhere. Obviously, Golish's comments, tip the hand to who it may be at 1. But I think you're going to see them getting most of the touches at running back now, at least for the first part of the year. I mean, there's guys, like I said, it's wide open, and I got to think if a guy's not getting it done game 1, game 2, you're going to look other ways. So, does that get some other guys some looks?
Yeah, there's a ton of versatility in that room. Not just by like what guys can do, but different guys have different skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Jabari kind of runs behind his pads and does a great job, kind of that one cut back. And then Jalen Wright is your speedster. He's a guy that can absolutely fly. You can put him in multiple spots, and he's going to be able to perform. Tyon Evans is 220. So you got to like what you have, short yardage with him, and also he has. His film kind of speaks for itself at the JUCO level. I mean, it's disgusting. And then you have T. Hodge, Leonard Whitehead are 2 really big backs. And then D. Beckwith, who could play probably every position on a football field.
But really, and I'm interested to see like how deep. I just feel like D. Beckwith's too good. And I'm not saying like best running back. I don't think we're necessarily going to look back like an Alvin Kamara situation and ask why he wasn't utilized. But how do you utilize him in the offense? Like, obviously, there's a ton of talent, and you're going to have plenty of guys to utilize. But everything you saw from – and it doesn't always translate, but everything you saw from his high school film, he just looks like a freak. Like, he looks the part of a freak athlete, 6'5", 230. I got to think you're going to try and get him the ball plenty and going to try and utilize him in this offense. How you do that, I'm really interested to see. I would take the bet that this offense is going to do a better job of it than the last offense. And I'm not, he was just a freshman last year. I mean, if that offense was still being ran today.
Right. Yeah. You got to like what you have, spreading the wealth. There is only one ball though. So It is going to be interesting. How do you utilize all these skill players that you have?
Well,
Not even just at running back, at receiver also.
But at running back too, I mean, again, we don't know enough about these guys. You saw a little bit of Jabari Small last year. You saw D Beck with a handful of times last year. Other than that, and then Tyon Evans at community college, if you put more weight into that than high school, and I don't know if some do, but he does. I guess you have that program a little bit more similar. But I mean, is this a year that it's running back by committee, or do we see someone taking over game 1, game 2, and it kind of just being they're the main guy?
I want to see a 1,000-yard rusher. I don't care who it is.
Okay.
I want to see it. I think this kind of sets up well because that offense is moving so fast. They're not an offense that's going to milk the clock for a whole quarter. That's not going to happen. You're going to get a ton of possessions in a game, and maybe part of that is because your defense might not be very good. But I think there's a lot of opportunities for guys to get carries, guys to get playing time, and hopefully we put some teams away this season. I don't know.
Dude, put Bowling Green. I don't want to look ahead. Just do.
Yeah.
I think it was Tyon Evans that was it Tyon? Someone today was like, this team is ready to blow up in the opener. But please, I blow up's not the right word. I think that's what he said, but I hope that's not what he meant.
Blow up the scoreboard.
Exactly. New Jumbotron, gonna have to be replaced. God, how long is that crane gonna take to get here? But
make the statistician have what's it called in your hand? Arthritis.
Arthritis, yeah. Get a little arthritis in there. But go it would be great to beat Pitt game 2. It'd be great to go and contest Florida. All those things would obviously be fantastic. But Tennessee just hadn't blown out a bad team in a long time. I'd like to get back to those days. I mean, I don't know. It would be nice to see this team go out and show out and see a running back. You mentioned a 1,000-yard rusher. Well, let somebody go in there and in the first half rush for 100 yards. Because if you rush for, if the game's in control, you aren't going to play much in the second half. So you better go get all your money's worth in the first half.
Yeah, somebody go get 300 the first game, then you can kind of put it in cruise control the rest of the season.
I like it. There you go. Yeah, that would be great. So starter, you Jabari, you riding Jabari? That your number one guy?
Yeah, for now. I just, we haven't really seen we haven't seen any of Tyon Evans in pads or live action. So yeah, right now I'm sticking with Jabari, but yeah, I think Tyon Evans would be my number 2. But it's kind of hard for this staff to really sell, hey, you can sit behind this guy, because Jabari is just a sophomore, and I think Tyon is a junior. So that those guys could be back another year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm with you in this. I think Jabari is probably the guy you see first out there. And if you're looking at it that way, whether he gets the bulk of the carries against Bowling Green, that's hard to gauge just because things can change in a game like that. So maybe if you look at Pitt, does Jabari get the bulk of the carries? I don't know. Is he the first guy out on the field? Probably. I think you'd like to know as much as you can about the team. And there's a lot of unknowns, and Jabari's even a little bit of an unknown, but you do at least have some on him, live game reps at Tennessee. And maybe that gets you a little bit more comfortable. But you mentioned Tyon's not been full tilt or anything. I don't know how also full tilt they've gone. They've got their first practice in Neyland on Saturday. So I think you find out a lot more on Saturday about this team. Not necessarily us, it's close to the media, but the coaching staff does. So I think you find out a lot there, but yeah, I think it's got to be Jabari. And, if we're going to look into what the coaches are saying and, how they're reacting to things too, I got to say D Beckwith's got a good chance to get quite a few touches with this offense.
Yeah, he's just unique. I mean, I think Golish was talking about he's a freak.
He is.
He shouldn't, that guy that size shouldn't be playing running back. Just I know he kind of gave a shout out to Derrick Henry at the Titans. He said that guy up the road is pretty big and does a really good job. But I mean, that guy, that size.
But Jalen Hurd was too big to play running back.
Right. But yeah, that size, that's not a typical running back. That guy shouldn't be running that fast at that size.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see kind of what it looks like, because D Beck with it, he's the guy you make in NCAA. Like that's the
Oh, yeah.
6'6" or however tall 7 foot running back.
You make him as tall as you can. Well, they changed this. In like NCAA 07, you could make him like 6'9", 99 speed.
Yeah.
Now in the new Madden, you can only make him so tall with the match. So you make him as tall as you can. That gets him to that 99 speed.
Right.
I haven't done a creative player in a long time. I need to just do that for fun.
Just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I miss Rip.
Well,
Rip
like,
being a kid.
I think Madden has that thing where it's like the quarterback. Like you create your own quarterback, but like that gets old.
You can
play running back. Be running back, y'all.
You can still do that. You can do that. You can do.
You can.
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, you can. Now they have that one mode where you play the college football playoff game and stuff, but yeah, you can do it. But I mean like the actual creative player. I haven't done that in forever, where you just go and make them however you want to make them.
But yeah, the dreads, I don't know if he has spatted cleats, but spatted cleats.
The Jeremy Banks leg bands, 7 leg bands.
Yeah, leg bands, leg sleeve, whatever it is. Yeah, it's all about the drip, right?
100%. 100%.
Look good, play good.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, we did like leading rusher, leading receiver, like all that. I don't know if we'll do it again, but just while we're talking about running backs, leading rusher on this team when it's all said and done. Not necessarily your starter, maybe doesn't even get the bulk of the carries, but your leading rusher.
I think Jabari Small, and one of my questions is to this staff is like, who's your short guy, like short yardage back?
And that kind of goes into my next question: leading touchdown scorer.
I'm going to go Tylen Evans just because I think he's number 2, and he's probably your kind of ground and pound kind of guy with that size.
How many – and with this offense, I'd be interested to see a stat, these high-paced offense. How many short yardage situations at the goal line do you get nowadays?
That's true, yeah. I don't know how much you'd use Forrest Crouch. JG might not even have that opportunity to jump over the pile.
That's a great point. So I don't know what those stats look like, but it's got to be less than the old style of offense where you're milking the clock and moving the ball down the field. Like surely.
Or I mean, if you get to that point, do you put D Beckwith in at Wildcat and just let him run up the center's butt?
That's what Tennessee needs is a great Wildcat package.
But like who do you put in? Like I'm giving Joe Milton, I guess, too much credit. But Joe Milton or D Beckwith, they're basically the same size.
Yeah.
So do you just go with a quarterback that can throw it? Or
you also still, teams that have these super mobile quarterbacks still run the Wildcat. I don't know why. I'm not necessarily a fan of it. I guess if you're looking at short yardage situations and you're going to run it anyways, then I guess you're probably trying to get that guy out of harm's way as much as possible. Mm-hmm. I guess. Because I'm with you. I don't understand it. If they pretty much have the same skill set as far as running the ball, what's up, Brutus? Why take away the passing option?
Just make an appearance. It's all good.
Well, he's been trying to get comfortable. He's been nesting over here.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know. He might be a little sick today. He threw up a little bit before the show. So
okay,
just trying to get him comfortable.
Let him ready for football season.
Let him know he's loved.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I think this room's going to be interesting to see kind of how it plays out, but I'm excited about it. I mean, you got to like the future with, everybody returning, and pretty much everybody should be back next year if they don't transfer. But yeah. I'm sure you'll see some guys transfer. You might see some guys switch positions, but you haven't seen that up to this point. But
right.
There's a lot of talent in that running back room to just stay, 5-6 guys deep.
And I'm not trying to call out another position group, but the one we spoke about last week, it was kind of like who's going to step up and do it, who's going to – and that is kind of a question here just because there's some unknowns, but there's a lot more. You have more comfort that someone should have the ability to do it in this room, whereas the last place we talked about, you're way more questions about who can actually do it and then who's going to do it. This room, it's kind of just like who's going to – there's a lot of guys that can do it, who's going to do it.
All right, so my question for you, I mentioned touchdowns, Tylen Evans, yards, Jabari Small. I want to hear your 2, but I also want to see most catches by a running back.
That's a good one. I knew you were going to ask that, and I don't have a good answer for that one. I'm gonna go Jabari Small, most yards. I think he's gonna also have the most carries. So I'm gonna go with most yards as well there. Touchdowns. See, again, it's just how often do you get those short yardage situations?
That's a good point.
Know. I don't know that. So that makes me lean away from Evans.
But Evans can also run. He's just not a short yardage guy.
Yeah, no, he can. You're right. And I'm not saying that. I think I just go small with the most yards, most carries, and most touches right now. But I think I'm going to go with D-Beck with out of the backfield. I don't know. I just feel like if you can get a guy that big and that fast out into space, like, don't you like that? That's a big target to throw to. I don't know how hard the bubble to throw. How hard is it to throw the bubble? It seems so hard on Shields Watkins Field.
It is. It's tough.
So I'm got to think a bigger target's got to be more comfortable.
I went back to our glory days, and I actually caught a bubble screen on that field I think it was our junior year.
Did I miss a block?
I probably didn't get very far because I
didn't block.
Well, I was not great at breaking tackles, so even if you did, I probably got tackled by the next guy who came. So,
love it. That's I don't know.
Well, it went positive, so that's all that matters, right?
You got on the stat sheet. Got on the stat sheet in the right way. There's nothing worse as a wide receiver than to come off the field with a negative receiving yards. Excuse me.
Or when you miss a block.
I miss a block. That at least doesn't get written down. You can hide until Sunday. You don't get found out until Sunday on film.
I guess like you miss a block and you got your buddy just tattooed.
You don't want it to show on the box score at least. Then the fans don't really know it. Only the coaches know at that point.
Yeah, having to go pick up your buddy after he just got his bell rung because you missed a block is not something you want to do.
Yeah, I was always in the department of make the ref call the hold. See if he'll pull that flag. I got warned a lot. That's another funny thing. I'd get warned, and one guy would be like, I've warned you twice. I'm like, throw the flag then. Throw the flag.
I'm like, dude, I'm 5'8".
Yeah, come on. Get out of here. On a good day.
5'8.5", right? What?
Yeah. I do. Speaking of that, I think Jabari Small. I don't know about so Jabari, Tyon, Jalen Wright. They're all listed at 5'11". I don't know if they're the same height. Jabari Small looks a lot shorter than 5'11", so I think they're getting the boost from the roster there.
Yeah, getting that tiptoe weight or
I was
height.
listed at 5'10" my entire high school career, and I've never even sniffed 5'10". So.
Oh yeah, I was 6 foot, 185 pounds. I'm still not 6 foot, 185 pounds.
I don't know if I could jump to 5'10".
Oh my gosh. I was gonna say something else. Oh, isn't it like crazy that Jabari Small was kind of? I don't want to say this, but I feel like it was done that he was kind of gifted that commitment because of like a package deal with Amari Thomas, and now he could be one of Tennessee's best players a year later.
Prove him wrong, I guess. I don't know if he feels that way, but if he does feel,
I mean that's just how I read it, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm thinking Tennessee made out like a.
Oh, I mean, if that's the case, they definitely benefited much more positive than usually you do in those situations. So.
Right. Yeah. It's usually the opposite effect. But yeah. Interesting. Okay. That's all I got for running backs.
Your most catches. Who has the most catches?
Oh, man. I'm going to go Jabari Small, too, because I think he's utilizing the passing game. But I think Jalen Wright could get some work there just being as fast as he is. And also D-Beck with. I mean, you can literally put him as an outside receiver, and there you go. You got a pretty good outside receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So some fall camp storylines. Fall camp kicked off this week. You've seen some coaches, some players that have met with the media. What biggest takeaways?
It's quarterback, and it's Joe Milton with all the hype. Is that not the scariest thing ever? It makes me want to think that he's not going to start because everybody thinks he is.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That is a good point. Usually goes the opposite direction. I don't feel as bad about quarterback as I probably should. I just think there's a lot of talent, and I don't know why, because it's not like I've just listened and hung on to every word this staff has said, but I just have faith that surely in that room there's a guy that can get some of the job done.
Do something.
I think there's enough talent there. And this is an offensive-minded staff. This is a quarterback-centric head coach. There's part of me that just has faith that between Harrison Bailey, Joe Milton, Hendon Hooker, Brian Maurer, sorry if I'm missing some other guys there. You're in the room too. I hear you. But surely they can find someone to bring some quality reps to the offense.
Yeah, I mean, this has got to be, as a collective group, it's got to be the most talent you've had since, God, when?
Probably last year, because you do have a Pac-12 starting quarterback on your roster last year. You may have an SEC quarterback. You may have two Pac-12 starting quarterbacks on your roster and an SEC starting quarterback on your roster last year.
No.
Listen, say what you want, but that JT Stroud's probably has a chance to start at Colorado. I don't know what JG's situation is. I have no idea. I just feel like he's going to ball it. So here's my hope with that. Did Joe Milton just something wasn't right at Michigan? Come here and things are right. Is that the case for the other guy that left? Maybe, but maybe we also get the good end of it. Also, can we just ignore it? Like, why are we even seeing his tweets? Who follows a Washington football account?
I know,
Washington
like,
State, sorry.
Stop liking his dad's tweets of him. No one wants to see that.
He's gone. It's like the Lane Kiffin stuff. I don't know. I guess it's what else do you have
Is
to do?
Henry To'oTo'o the next Lane Kiffin?
Nah, he didn't. Maybe, yeah.
He's like really hated now, but maybe in a couple years everybody like forgives him. And
well, he's not even a starter at Alabama. Landon. I don't know why they'd take him. He's probably not even going to play special teams. He's going to ride the bench at Alabama. I hope he has fun. Sarcasm.
Yeah, he's terrible.
I want to look up Alabama. I want to look up Alabama start. He was in the mix. I'm curious if they've
He's going to start.
More than likely. If not, he's going to rotate.
He didn't go there to sit.
They didn't allow him to come there to sit.
Right.
He's the expected starter at Mike Linebacker. So,
but yeah, getting all the hype. He's Joe Milton's apparently got the strongest arm this
big
world
dude
has ever seen. He can run. Those speed things that we saw, like max velocity or whatever. He was right behind Hendon Hooker.
Can we please, though, drop the Cam Newton crap? Look, maybe he has a similar body. Yeah. Cam Newton single-handedly won a national championship.
I think you compare the two, like, size-wise.
If you want to physically be like, yeah, they're the same size. Like, Caleb's the same size as that guy on Game of Thrones. That's fine. I'm not as good of an actor as him. You know what I'm talking about? Little dude. I don't know his name.
In what now? I'm sorry?
Game of Thrones. It was a short joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Little dude. But yeah, we're the same size as some of those Olympic athletes out there.
I'm
a lot bigger than some of the gymnastics.
That's a good point. It's just like, can we pump the brake? But he's a big dude. I understand why when you look at him, you're like, that's a football player. That's the guy that when football coaches see him walk in first day of freshman year high school, they're like, weight room right now. Let's go. I get it. I get what it's like, but yeah. I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of with you, but I think maybe it's Joe Milton just because there's been a lot of talk. I don't know if that's just generated and him actually being there because he wasn't here for spring ball. Let's remember that. Mm-hmm. He wasn't here for spring ball. So if we're looking at it in the sense of mentally, there's a couple guys that have a leg up on him there. Now, does that lift them enough physically? I don't know.
He's also been here for, he wasn't here for spring practice, but he's kind of been here since spring practice was over. So he's kind of gotten the gist of the offense. This isn't his first day on campus.
No. Yes, he's definitely been, around the team. They, 7-on-7 stuff. He's been in the meeting rooms. There's no doubt about that. But he hadn't gone through full practice until this week, and so he hasn't seen reps as the starting quarterback, as a quarterback, until this week. And I got to think that gives the other three guys, if you want to say that are in the mix, at least a little bit of a head start.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Just being in this offense definitely helps. Getting to do it live definitely helps. I don't know. I just, he looks good in routes on air. I don't know what else to
He
really
looks
say.
great in shorts, terrible in sandals.
Yeah, yeah. Can we please get him some new sandals? I mean, holy shit.
You think Michigan had to pay $40,000 for those?
Is this a part of his NIL deal that he got right before he left?
Michigan's paying him the NIL.
Like, what in the world? Yeah, can we get him some shower shoes or something? Because that's what those are. I mean, those are some shower shoes. You see all them like holes in the top? Shower shoes with a Jumpman on it. A yellow, gold. What is it? Maize.
Maze.
It's amazing. Yeah, he's got spatted cleats. I mean, he looks the part.
Someone else had, I don't know if it was Hendon Hooker or Brian Maurer. Brian Maurer seems like a spatted cleats guy. There were there were some more out there. So
I think Harrison Bailey's got the leg sleeve. Hendon Hooker wears a freaking hood every practice. He's one of those guys that wears like a sleeveless hoodie, I guess. I don't know. But hey, whatever makes you play better.
Look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah. Another kind of storyline is Cayman Marley at wide receiver to start camp. He wasn't here for the spring. Got on campus. You thought he was going to end up probably on the defensive side of the ball, but it sounded like it was maybe a recruiting promise with the previous staff to have him started on that side of the ball, and if they moved him after, so be it. But I would think, I want to see the field as fast as possible, and I just don't see wide receiver being somewhere where somebody who hasn't really been here would be able to come in right away.
Yeah, probably not with this group.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Do you want to get some of these questions? Looks like Ryan Chadwick's in here.
Ryan's dropped some in here. He asked us about Beckwith at running back. We didn't really touch on this. We did talk about the running back room and D Beckwith. Beckwith at running back, I mean, I guess we kind of mentioned it towards the end. It's like, don't you want to get a guy like that on the field somehow? So I am with you in that sense. It doesn't necessarily – I thought it was an interesting move last year when he got moved to running back. Here, I think it's more of just maybe he likes it. Maybe he's comfortable there right now, and so the staff's kind of letting him feel it out. And I'm sure they'll address some things as they change throughout the fall camp or the season. But I don't know. I think at some point, if he's not getting a lot of touches, I think you've got to look to – somehow make him a guy that's on the field for you.
Yeah, I mean, if he's one of your best 11, you got to find some room for him somewhere. And Golish kind of hit on that, so I kind of have faith that they are going to utilize him in some capacity, or they wouldn't keep him at that position.
Yeah, I would think so. Then he also said JG hype. Listen, I was hyped about JG for one off season, so. I don't know if other people were hype after that. I'll admit it. Going in 2017, I just played that New York Times Square video just on repeat, ready for the next great. I should have watched some film. That would have done me some good. It's one of those you look back. I don't know. Everyone's got to have that girlfriend. They look back and they're like, "What was I thinking?" So that kind of
we said it after the Music City Bowl. He was walking off the field, and I'm like, "There's the future of Tennessee right there, number 2."
Well, you tied him to Butch Jones. That was your fault.
Yeah. Damn, were we wrong? I mean, I guess looking back, we were right. He was the future, but it wasn't a good future.
Wasn't quite the future we were looking for. Wasn't quite the future. But yeah, I was hyped for one season. So yeah, we'll see.
There was always that hope every single year. Maybe this happened. He's got a new offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But
I will say this. So, okay, that makes sense, Ryan. Just before he ever saw playing time, same as Milton. So, yeah, I think everything we know about Milton, that's why I'm staying very, very – I'm not very excited for necessarily Joe Milton. I do think there's talent in the quarterback room, and that makes me excited. I don't know how to say it. I'm not super pumped for it, but at least hopeful. I do think, kind of going back into the Henry To'oTo'o thing, this staff brought him onto campus at a position of – sure need, but it's not like they didn't go out and get a stud.
Right.
I mean, let's say Joe Milton pans out. He still wasn't a stud coming into Tennessee. So I think they do have some ideas of what they can do with him. Does that make him the starter? I don't know. But I think the staff likes what they've seen from Joe Milton and thinks they can do something with him. I'm sure they're not like pointing at him like, oh, look how successful he was, because he wasn't at Michigan. So I think there's just
but here's my rebuttal to that, the Michigan thing. What quarterback has
I hear you
under Harbaugh? Like, what quarterback has had a successful career there? I mean, no one has. And I'm not saying he's going to be successful here, but let's not all look at the Michigan thing and just be like,
I think it weighs more into who he is right now than anything else, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, yeah, you got to have your reservations because of it for sure. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't like completely ride him out because he didn't have a great career at Michigan.
Agreed.
No one really does.
Agreed. That's pretty bold to say. As Charles Woodson is on the
quarterback wise. Sorry, under Harbaugh.
No, I know what you mean. I did see Charles Woodson tonight on TV and brought back some bad memories as he stood just a couple people down from Peyton Manning. But we won't talk about that.
Yeah, that's all right.
We won't discuss that. Any other fall camp storylines you want to hit on?
I mean, I think everybody's interested to see what the transfers look like. That includes Joe Milton, but a guy like Brandon Turnage, Kamal Haddon, and Dejon Terry, Caleb Tremblay, Juwan Mitchell, Apache or William Mohan. I think guys are, people are excited to see kind of what they look like with this new staff at some positions of needs. Cade Mays, where does he end up on that offensive line? Alex Golish mentioned that he would be one of their best five, but it kind of depends on where everybody else falls into place and decides where he plays.
And that's just kind of the nature of the business when you're one of the better guys and you're flexible. You just fit in. It's a compliment. It means you're well-rounded and obviously one of the more talented guys that they're going to find a spot for you, or they have a spot for you. They just don't know where that spot is at the moment.
Yeah, and I think that's good to be versatile like that. I mean, you look at a guy like Trey Smith. He was that same versatile type guy, and look at him during camp with the Chiefs.
Yep. Absolutely.
So that's going to be interesting. I think there's, with the offensive line, and we're not previewing that, but I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of like you have quite a bit of experience within this offensive line. So what does that offensive line look like? And maybe that really helps out getting a 1,000-yard rusher.
Hopeful.
Yeah.
All right.
Miles Campbell. I think he's another one with,
okay.
We're going to talk about the roster news here in a second, but I think he's one that you're really looking to as a true freshman at a position of need. He's going to have to step up with Princeton Fant. Not really. He's not been practicing. I think he got back to practice today, but he was out to the side. So Miles Campbell getting an opportunity. He's probably that right behind Jacob Warren to be a real contributor for Tennessee at the tight end position. And is one of those complete tight ends. He's big. He can block, run, catch passes. So I think the staff is really excited to have him on campus, but can he step up and be that factor? Because Alex Golish said, I've never played a freshman at that position before.
Interesting.
And then one that kind of, I'm selfish. I played receiver. So who is that third receiver behind, you think it's going to be Jalen Hyatt and Velus Jones Jr. Who is that third guy?
I haven't thought about that. And I guess you got to find a way to, this offense, when you're looking for guys just to get into space, I guess you got to find a way to spread that wealth around. But that one wasn't something I really considered. So, golly.
I mean, I think you got a ton of options, which is a good thing, a good problem to have. But
yeah. I mean, is it speed? Is it a guy like Jimmy Holiday?
Callaway could have been
Tillman.
Javonte Payton, I mentioned him as a transfer.
They mentioned too how fast he was, haven't they?
Yeah. Yep.
So that's speed again. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. I think there are a lot of options, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Who do you like to do to be that 3 guy, that number 3 guy?
I really like Jimmy Callaway.
Okay.
I really liked his film out of high school. I think he's, a stud athlete. He's super fast. I just think, he's got soft hands. Just watching him and some routes, he seems to run pretty crisp routes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one that I would. But Javonte Payton has SEC experience, so
yeah, that's true.
But he is. If you're building toward the future, I hope we don't get to the point where you're trying to do that.
No, you play your best guys.
I agree. But he is going to be here for 1 year, so maybe that factors in. I don't know.
I hope not. Turkey Man mentioned how bad is Bowling Green. They are one of the worst teams in the FBS this year. So,
God, that's so scary.
Yeah, right. They're bad. And then Ryan also asked, any specific thoughts on Mitchell and Banks running the defense?
I hope they can.
I don't know how to feel about the comment. I don't know. The one what kind of defense are y'all gonna run? He's like, haven't decided, and if I had, I wouldn't told you all. It's like, feels like an important decision to be making. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's gonna be a 4-3 probably. They're probably gonna be their base.
And they're gonna run out of multiple all year. Like, you're gonna see a ton of different looks, and it's not going to be wild. So like I said, I think it was kind of just a tongue-in-cheek comment, but it is just like, whoa, wait a minute.
Right. And you're probably going to have that nickel, so you're going to have 2 inside linebackers, some pass rushers and some defensive tackles. That's so 4-2-5, I guess, is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see. I think you'll see a healthy mix of a lot. I mean, he mentioned that too, kind of in his opening that defensive conference they had. But some real thoughts though, like I don't know. I'm with Landon. Like, hope they can. It's guys.
I hope Jeremy Banks has improved a lot.
Yes,
because last year he was just not good,
and
the guy in front of him wasn't great either. Yeah.
Yep. Don't know. We'll see, but hope for the best. Prepare for the worst. It's the Tennessee way. All right. Roster news. You kind of mentioned. I know you threw some guys out there. Do what?
Put your cups on.
Yeah, for sure.
Roster news. So you had 2 guys retire from football, and that was offensive lineman Riley Locklear and tight end Austin Pope. 2 guys that had, I think, Locklear was a 2016 commit, and then Pope was 2017. So these guys have been in the program for a long time. Riley Locklear kind of got some playing time and spot duty, not a ton of starts and things like that. It was kind of due to injury or the game was out of hand or something like that. Just kind of spread out through his career. And then Austin Pope didn't play last year. It just got to where, it sucks. It just got to where his body just couldn't, take the playing football anymore. And unfortunate, you had to see a local kid like that have to hang it up pretty early. And I think he would have been had a pretty big role in this offense. I don't know how big, but you got to think he'd be one of your first or second starting tight ends.
Right.
If healthy, if he's not healthy, probably not. But
right. If anybody's watching the Hall of Fame game, can you tell me? I feel like I've seen the ball hit the ground 800 times, and I've just been glancing at the game. Like I
don't know. I picked. Has there been any points scored?
There's been 3 points scored, and Dallas recovered that fumble, so they may at least kick a field goal here. But I swear I've seen the ball hit the ground 8. Yeah, they're about to line up for a field goal. 8,000 times. So it's been very confusing. I don't know what's going on. Remember that? Oh, it got blocked. Sorry, Landon.
Oh,
did you take the points?
Yeah, I took the over.
Well, what was it?
It was like 32.
Well, we're several minutes into the second quarter.
Jesus Christ.
Thanks, Ryan. It's a great hat. I think I got it at Dick's Sporting Goods. I think I just saw it one day.
Oh,
and I don't really shop
family
at
podcast.
I don't really shop at Dick's Sporting Goods often because their prices are ridiculous. But
No free ads.
Well, I just bashed them. So
except for that.
But it was only like $20. So steal. I didn't steal it. I bought it, but you get it. You're with me. Let's jump to recruiting. Tennessee has gotten the benefit of some commitments. Big commitment, literally, this week.
Yes, Tennessee got some of those. I think the biggest one everybody was really excited about was 4-star offensive lineman Addison Nichols. It's really good to get a guy.
I don't know how I felt about the commitment video. That was an interesting one.
But I mean, he's a Tennessee fan, so it's like
fair.
It seems like Tennessee's on getting on the right end of these.
That's fair. It is better than the transfer video that I've seen this year, so that's good.
He ripped off his shirt. It was cool. I mean,
you got to be one team out.
It's a lineman thing. You got to understand. It's a lineman. Like they're kind of weird individuals. They're their own breed.
They are weird. They are weird individuals, but we're also like leaving out the pinata part. So
yeah, that was kind of weird. I didn't get that. Maybe that was a mom thing. I don't know. Hope. Yeah, that was kind of strange. But hey, whatever. Was there candy in it, or was it? Oh no, it was just like a shaker thing.
It was, yeah, but I also like the video. I don't know if it was my phone. The video wasn't very clear when he broke the pinata, so I also couldn't tell what the colors of the streamers, I guess, were. So I was a little confused. I was like, "Is that orange?" Someone help me. Is that orange?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I guess kick and play.
That's all.
I'll say that. Yeah, he's
a
borderline top 100 prospect. I think he's number 106 on 247 composites. 6'5", 318 pounds. Huge, from Norcross, Georgia. That's in that Atlanta area. And have you seen like his accolades?
I mean, no, I'm not. Not
he might be the football version of East Pons. And I know what you're thinking. Shut up, Landon. You're a moron. Hear me out.
Does he play sax?
Hear me out. He's a second-degree black belt.
How many degrees of black belt are there?
I think like 3, maybe.
It seems like a Dwight Schrute comment there. Are we sure he's being serious?
He's a black belt. I don't care what degree. This is a black belt. He's an Eagle Scout. He plays golf also, too. I mean, what offensive lineman really plays golf? I don't know if he's any good, but he plays golf. I mean, like, that's pretty – like, the Eagle Scout and black belt thing is more
That's very impressive. I've seen Dane Davis post about looking for people to play with in this group that I'm in. So Dane Davis plays. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, just
is that all the accolades, or does he have more?
Hold on. I'll see if he's got more. I'm sure he's got more.
I thought you were about to like rattle off a list.
I mean, he's also a 4-star offensive lineman. He's on the golf. He's a Barstool athlete too, Caleb. Come on now.
So wait, can high schoolers sign? I'm so confused about NIL.
I don't know. I think they just send him a shirt. I don't think it means anything. But still, it's in his bio. It does say second-degree black belt. But yeah, he's got a lot going for him. He's an interesting feller.
That's good. Good for him.
Yeah, and pick Tennessee over basically anybody in the country.
Also, the Eagle Scout thing is very, very impressive. I don't mean to diminish any of his accolades. I was expecting to be here for like 3 hours with Landon rattling off a list. That's all. That's all I meant.
I mean, I kind of just read his bio, but I was impressed. So there's one.
Well, his Twitter bio, because you can only fit so many characters. So that's all it is.
Yeah, so he couldn't go on for 3 hours on Twitter bio.
Although my Twitter bio does say that I've karaokeed in every city I've been in, and that's a pretty big deal. So,
but dude, getting a Tennessee fan, okay?
Yeah, no, that's nice. You're not, as long as he shows up on campus, you're not going to get the Trevor Lawrence treatment.
Jump all over the hype train.
Also, can we who did it start with? It didn't start with Trevor Lawrence, did it? He was a Tennessee guy, or like connections to Tennessee when ESPN would run it. Because then you find out about the Justin Fields, Bush Jones being like telling Justin Fields that
you couldn't play here.
Yeah, I mean, just wouldn't even invite him on a visit, and that ESPN ran with that a couple times. Did it start with Trevor Lawrence?
Was it not Taj Boyd? Didn't Lane Kiffin tell him no?
I don't remember seeing that like on a game broadcast though.
It probably
But
wasn't on
yes.
game broadcast, but
But like they would run
Martin
the Trevor
Nagy
Lawrence.
made it very known in his
Yeah.
book.
But they would start like the college football playoff would be like, and Trevor Lawrence, who grew up a Tennessee fan, starting at quarterback. I'm like, really? That's what
Yeah,
we're doing
and then
today?
you had T. Higgins, that was Cade Mays.
They
then
didn't.
you
They
had-
didn't run with those that much though. I
No,
didn't see much about it. Which K. Mays is an offensive lineman, so you don't see that as often.
right. Tate Ratledge was one. It was kind of more on social media than it was a game broadcast, but his dad taking off the T of his truck, that was very heartbreaking. But it feels good to be on the right end of this one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Run through some of those others. Tennessee got some other commitments, including one right before the show. I'm glad we switched to Thursdays. I'm sure now there'll be commitments on Friday nights now. But
Right.
Wednesday it'd be like we'd get off the show and somebody would commit right then and there.
Yeah. So you had 3-star linebacker Caleb Perry commit to Tennessee over guys like Cincinnati, Purdue, Boston College, out of Georgetown, Kentucky, 6'3.5", 215 pounds. Position of need.
Yeah.
So cool. And then you had 2023. Get that 2023 recruiting class kicked off. You have Jack Luttrell, the 6 foot, 172-pound safety out of Dacula, Georgia.
Don't know where that's at.
I don't know either. Hebron Christian Academy. Dude, did you watch his film?
I haven't watched his film, but I haven't seen his film, but I saw that catch that he had over that guy at Tennessee's camp.
Yeah, so he went viral off that. It was him playing receiver, but
Right.
I think they like him more as a safety here. Dude, I'm excited for that kid. I mean, dude can hit. Dude's super athletic, can catch, returns kicks, things like that. I don't know how great a competition Hebron Christian Academy is, but
you got to play. You got to play somebody at least, right? Like
Yeah.
he's playing a body. Somebody's
Yeah.
breathing on the other side of the ball, right?
I was impressed. Let's see his I'm interested to see kind of his offer list. Arkansas, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, Texas A&M. Hell yeah, we'll take that. We will take that. I want to see
Well, A&M's gonna have to start recruiting out of Texas again, so you got to remember that.
That's true. Caleb Perry, Kentucky, Cincinnati, Purdue, Virginia, West Virginia. That's kind of his offer list. And then right before the show, you mentioned Charles or Chaz Nimrod.
Yeah, not a great last name. I'm sorry, and this isn't gonna be an all-name team guy.
Right. Yeah, if he does something wrong, it's gonna be bad for him. Like, are you mad at me, or are you just saying my last name?
Yeah.
But he's 6'2", 181 pounds from Bentonville, Arkansas. You know where Bentonville is?
No, and I'm glad I don't.
Northwest Arkansas, up there in the corner.
That's the worst part of Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a great part of Arkansas. Let's just be honest.
Right. So, like, imagine being the guy that gets imagine the guy that's like Satan's like, go to hell. Like that guy, his life sucks.
That's true. His offer list: Washington State, Arkansas State, Butch, Houston, Michigan, Memphis, Tulane, Indiana, so Illinois, Kansas State. I think he got offered on Saturday by Tennessee and jumped on the commitment. So Tennessee gets another receiver, the third one in that class. So number 6 player out of Arkansas, Chaz. There's no Z. It's an S.
Okay.
Nimrod. That's all I got. That was four commits since we did our last show. That's pretty,
there you go.
pretty impressive.
Just rattle them off.
We getting hot?
Hate to tell you, Landon, but another missed field goal in the game. So
damn. Whatever. Dude,
Mason Rudolph looks terrible too. So
I did a stupid thing today. It paid off, but I'll never do it again. So I did bet that boost USA and Slovenia to be in the gold cut or the gold medal match.
Yeah, that is bold.
I maxed it out.
Okay.
when USA won, I was like, okay, I'll just bet on France.
Yeah, you'll hedge it.
But then I was like, dude, I got faith Luka's about to just drop it on France. And the game happened and it kept going and kept going. And I just got super nervous. Because I saw France's whole entire roster was NBA players. Slovenia, there's just Luka and Goran Dragic. That's it. I was like, France had who'd they have? Evan Fournier, Rudy Gobert, Nick Batum. Like they had a ton of guys. I was like, oh crap. Well, they got up in the game like by 3 points. And I was like, all right, France is gonna kill them from here on. So, dude, I put a ton of money on France. And
so how did it work out? I didn't even see who won.
France ended up winning, but Nicholas Batum blocked a shot, I think, over from Luka for the win. They won by 1 point.
Love to see it.
I was watching. I was like, oh, they're up by 5 with 30 seconds to go.
Yeah,
we're good.
That's your problem.
They hit a 3. Then we got an offensive foul. And then they missed a free throw, thank God. And then, like, that happened. I was just like – and I couldn't watch it because it's on Peacock. I'm at work. So I'm, like, doing the game cast on FanDuel. And it was just – oh, my God.
Those are the worst. They're so slow.
I was about to have to just go home. I'm like,
yeah.
Dude, if I lost all that money, I'm going to be upset. It paid off, but I don't recommend doing that because your boy was sweating way too early this morning.
What time was that game?
I think it started at 7 a.m.
That's too early.
Yeah, so about 8:30. Oh, the cheeks were clenched and everything. Way too early.
Love it. So we had an interesting question. Turkey Man asked, if Bailey transfers, how many years would he have left and where would he end up? I mean, I got to think he ends up, I guess it depends on other SEC team situations, but there's going to be like 20 SEC teams soon. So I got to think one will find a spot for him. And then as far as how many years, he would have 3 after this year.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe Michigan could be.
Oh, okay. Going north, moving north a little bit.
Well, that's where he was committed.
Okay.
And then, flipped his commitment to Tennessee.
Okay.
Or it was between us and Michigan or something like that.
Gotcha.
Maybe he wasn't committed to Michigan, but yeah, it was between us and Michigan. And, maybe they kind of flip spots with Joe Milton.
There you go. Interesting. All right, so Vols in the NBA. Let's talk some NBA basketball real quick. Some Tennessee guys saw their name called.
Yeah, they got their yeah, that's been a while. But I forgot we hadn't talked about it. That's why I included it in the show. Yeah, Keon Johnson fell a little bit. You thought he could probably be a lottery pick. Fell. I think a lot of that kind of had to do with maybe his shooting. Being a shooting guard, but he went 21st overall in the first round by the New York Knicks and then was later traded to the LA Clippers. I think that's a pretty good, you go to a really good team.
Yeah. And also it makes sense of the NBA draft to me. I don't get it. Why don't they just trade picks? Why do they have to select? Like, I don't no understanding.
I have no clue. I couldn't tell you. NBA doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Can they never trade picks? Like, is this always how it is? I think it is. I'm always just as confused as I am now. Or is this like a situational thing?
I think if you trade on draft night, that other team has to pick, and then you get the rights to. But if it's before the draft, then like obviously that team gets to pick. That pick.
It's so stupid. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. It's weird. But yeah, he goes 21st overall, and then Jaden Springer kind of made me nervous a little bit. But
yeah, he almost slipped out.
Ended up in the first round, 28th overall by the Philadelphia 76ers. He will join Tobias Harris in City. What's that city's nickname?
City of Brotherly Love.
Is that what it is? That's what I was thinking.
I think that's like what Philadelphia means, maybe.
Oh, really?
Maybe. I don't know.
There you go, Caleb. Oh, yeah, you're a history guy. You love some history.
Is that a history fact? I don't know.
I mean, it's got to be, right?
I don't know how you'd associate it. I know that's I know it's the city of brotherly love. I don't know if that's what Philadelphia actually means, though. But
yeah, so Tennessee gets 2 guys in the first round for the first time since Ernie and Bernie.
And one guy went. I know they didn't end up going to the Knicks, but one guy also went to the Knicks there.
Yeah. And he did the press conference in the Knicks hat. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. He already knows he's not going there. Why is he putting that hat on? Get the man the right hat.
Right. So it's long been the nickname, the city of brotherly love, from the literal meaning of the city's name in Greek. So there you go. Ryan mentioned that he believes it's so that one team, like when they trade up, it's to avoid teams like getting a different player on draft night. So it's like they pick who they say they're going to pick. So like,
yeah, pick this guy or the trade is no good.
Right.
I still don't understand why that team, if they traded up, why can't they just pick that player?
But then they wouldn't necessarily have to if they just traded up. Whereas like you agreed to the trade for Keon or whatever. Does that make sense?
I mean,
so
if you trade up, you should be able to pick whoever you want, right?
I don't disagree, but I guess in the sense of like protecting your trades, you're like that team doesn't want to trade down and then lose out on who they wanted. So like, all right, he'll be sitting at wherever, so we can get him there. But then they lose out because not necessarily saying that team picks that person, but it may create a chain effect that leads to them losing out. Maybe like that's
interesting.
That's what I would
think. It seems like a bunch of baloney to me.
It does seem like it still seems absurd. I agree.
Yeah.
What happened to a man's word?
Right. Come on. Nice little handshake. Gentleman's agreement. East Ponds is with the Memphis Grizzlies. That's pretty cool. And
he has a nice little showing, nice little highlight tape already.
Showing out in Salt Lake City for the NBA Summer League, catching lobs, blocking shots, doing what East Ponds does.
Love to see it.
Love it. I love that guy.
Big East Ponds fan.
So much sacks.
So much. All right. Anything else for the NBA?
That's all I got.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get into any more questions. I don't think I've seen any more drop.
I got one.
Okay.
Let me find it again. But I got one. Who's this from? Dub himself said, would you take a 10-yard Joe Milton bullet to the groin for $1 million?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I would do a lot worse for a lot less.
Okay. Yeah. You want to explain?
$1 million is a lot of money.
I mean, like, do you want to say what you'd actually do for?
I don't know what I'm not saying like I've thought about it. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. But you would do
like
more.
$250,000 for a 5-yard throw from Joe Milton. Yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah. Get it over quicker.
Like, for example.
Yeah. Give me like right out of the arm.
And I can't imagine I'd regret that because you know like the episode, the scene in Dodgeball right after they win and they roll out that treasure chest. Mm-hmm. I think that's how I imagine they would give me the $1 million. So like I would never regret it.
You gonna dress like a pirate too?
He's not dressed like a pirate in that scene, Landon. You need to rewatch that movie.
Oh yeah, that's so dumb. He should be.
Hey, look, it's Steve the Pirate.
The whole Yard team dressed as a pirate.
God, I love that movie.
It's a great movie. We talked about that last show. Was
it last show? I think it was last Sunday because I just watched it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Absolutely much. Great movie. Imagine how much less the Jackass boys made for each stunt back in the early 2000s. Yes. I wouldn't like, there's a lot of stunts on there I would never do.
Oh yeah.
There's also a lot of stunts on there that if someone was like, hey, $10,000 and
like them jumping in a ball pit with Snakes? No,
Nope,
hell
I'm out.
no.
I'm
No.
out. But didn't they like jump a pool with like a crocodile in it or something like that? Like I'd do that.
Probably. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, they do some stuff on there. You're just like, nope.
There's
Like,
animal. Yeah, no, for sure. There's animals I've
stapling their
accepted.
butt cheeks together, or like piercing the butt cheeks together. No, I
Yeah.
never do that either.
There's some things like I've accepted some animals that like if I ever get attacked by them, there's one of two outcomes will happen. Either one, I will beat that animal down and I will be able to say forever the rest of my life like an alligator or a bear, and I can walk away and be like, I beat that animal. Or they kill me and everyone's like, what happened to Caleb? And they're like, he got killed. He got mauled by a grizzly bear. Like, that's pretty cool.
Have you seen Outer Banks, the new season?
I just finished it today. Terrible ending, by the way. Seriously? You all have had a year and a half of production and that's where you leave us? That pisses me off.
Yeah. I get that. That's a good point. But what about him getting like
cool story. Also, he was magically healed like the next day.
Oh yeah, but by the gator.
Yeah.
Like had him and they were rolling. He was doing the gator roll in the water
also,
and just
no
got
spoilers.
bitten on the leg. What?
Yeah, no spoilers. Sorry, Ron. Mute us real quick because I didn't want to talk about this. Don't they say like once that gator starts rolling you, like you're not getting out of that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like you're already dead at that point.
Okay. But like
you can't move.
All of a sudden, a 16-year-old girl had the opportunity to beat the gator until it ran away.
Stab it with a pocket knife like 4 times, and it just magically let go of him.
Oh, did she have a pocket knife? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was just beating it. Okay, that makes more sense. I didn't realize she went Chubbs on
Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. I didn't realize she went Chubbs on him and got the eye or anything, so I missed that. But we'll talk about it after because no spoilers. I do have another question regarding that specific scene, or not that scene, but a similar scene. Okay, so
yeah, Ryan, you're a little bit behind. Okay, it's been out for like a week. Okay, I watched
episode 8.
I watched it in one day.
That's like that's a problem you have. No one else does.
All right, Ryan, you have this weekend to watch it. Sunday, that's all we're talking about.
No, it's a TV show. You have like 8 months to watch it.
No.
Okay, a month. You have a month. A whole TV show? It's 10 episodes. It's 10 45-minute episodes.
Right, yeah. Do you not binge? That's what Netflix is for.
I do binge. I'm just saying not everybody has the ability to binge. Like last night, I was only able to watch 1.5 episodes. So I had to finish it today. Sorry we don't all have the freedom you do, Landon.
You have 1 week.
Turkey Man asks, how good will special teams be? You do return some guys there. You get Paxton back. You have some transfers at kicker as well as Toby. So
Toby. Yeah, Chase McGrath. You have JT Carver also.
Oh yeah, you do have freshman JT Carver who's a stud. So I don't know. I think it's one of those you have options but also questions. So we'll see. Return game. Again, you have a ton of speed. I got to think you can find someone that can make a couple big plays, right?
You would think. I mean, take that ball and go to the house.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you have guys running 4 threes on this roster. Somebody should be able to catch the ball and run straight.
Somebody figure it out. Yeah. I do like. I mean, I think you're going to see some impressive special teams play throughout the year, just because Mike Eckler likes putting playmakers out there. So now we'll find out if Josh Heupel's bought into that same philosophy.
We'll see who's chili's hot on the special teams.
For sure. All right. You ready for segments?
What's trending?
I've got a couple.
Okay.
Let's get them rolling here. My first one, Lionel Messi left Barcelona. It's an end of an era, man. He's been in Barcelona his pretty much entire life. Like 12 years old, I think. And he's gone. I don't know where he's going. Man City, probably.
Was this a shock to you?
I'm a little shocked that it finally happened. He's kind of been wanting to leave for a while. But it was kind of one of those things I was like, until it happens, I'm not believing it. But like you also knew it was coming because you knew things were starting to not be good between the two parties. So shocking a little bit, or I don't know. I don't know how to say it. It's like, I mean, I guess it's kind of like Brady leaving the Patriots. Like, you knew it was probably the end of the road, but kind of shocked it happened. So
Right.
My next one, Coach Jason Garrett now wanting to be called Coach in New York. He told the media, "I'm Coach. I'm not Jason." So you just remember that when you talk Coach, any coach, it's Coach.
So what did Dion say?
He got mad that they called him Dion. He was like, "I'm Coach," and then said Nick Saban would want him to call you Coach, but he doesn't.
Jason Garrett, you're not good enough of a coach to.
No one is. No one is. It's a respect thing. I call people like I call people that never coach me Coach because they're just Coach.
Yeah.
So you got to earn that name.
Right. Yeah, Coach Howard. Perfect example.
A great example of Coach.
And he had a birthday recently. Happy birthday to the man.
Shout out. But yeah, that's a great example of a coach. Great example. Jameis.
Even like man, I'm trying to think. Like people who don't even coach, like I'm sure people call Austin Price and Eric Kane Coach.
You think so?
I'm sure they do.
No.
I bet they do.
No one's ever called them Coach. Who would call them Coach?
I mean, you don't call them journalists. I don't know. I would call them Coach, but I'm sure like kids have said, "Hey, Coach." I'm sure they have.
No, that's not true. Like that's absurd. That doesn't even make sense.
I'm sure I'll call Eric Kane right now. I'm sure he'll say yes.
No one's ever called him Coach. That's just not true. All right, Jameis. Jameis training videos are back this time at Saints camp. I don't know what that technique was.
Dude, he's QB1. They are screwed.
I mean, they're gonna throw a lot of touchdowns, so that's good.
And a lot of picks.
Hey, ebbs and flows of it, baby. Ebbs and flows. My next one, Trey Smith. Talk of the town, man. Also, everyone knew it at Tennessee. So all the NFL guys are like, I can't believe this. Nope. Watch film. Watch the tape. And then my last one, very last one. I don't like doing this. I despise it. It's a team I kind of like underratedly hate. But Carter High School, the new unis, muy bien. Muy bien. And they probably didn't have to pay $40,000 for them. So that's a good thing.
Boom roasted. I really like that script. It's nice. I like how South Louisville's going to their script on the helmets too. It looks good.
And then the big old hornet on the white helmet.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I will say this: I'm not a fan of the mix and match. They had I think it was the gray jersey, the white pants. No, you just got to go white, icy whites, or
you got to match. Come on.
So, but they look great. The cleats look good. They're gonna look good on the field this year. We'll see if their play matches it, but they'll look good.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like if you have some of the nicest jerseys in Knoxville, you gotta show out, right? You can't just be mediocre.
See, here's my thing though. If you just
pressure's
show up,
on, Carter.
Yeah, you do got to play good at some point. But I'll tell you what, man, when you roll up and there's some unknowns and you're dressed nice, that can put a little
play mind games.
Yeah, get the other team thinking a little bit. That's you got to start somewhere, right?
Is that why we got Joe Milton?
For sure. That's why they put him next to the three shortest guys on the team. I mean, those guys aren't even actually rostered players, right? They just went out and found some guys on campus.
Put this jersey on real quick. Be in this picture.
Sorry I don't know who the guy's standing next to him. I apologize. I just needed to make that joke. I'm short. It's okay.
Oh, I love it.
That was it for me. That's all I got for what's trending.
Also have one.
We're about to see a safety in the Hall of Fame game. I love this.
Mets not signing Kamar Rocker. How does that even happen?
They're gonna come back to regret that. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I know it was probably with his, medical issues, and then him deciding to not go back to Vanderbilt.
But you're gonna tell me
Bad look, Vanderbilt. Bad look. Come to
You're-
Tennessee. Don't go to Vanderbilt.
you're gonna tell me that whatever his medical issues are, he can't rehab that in your organization and then be worth that money. Like, come on. They spent a lot more money on a lot dumber things.
Oh yeah, they're the Mets.
God bless.
They literally just, I don't know who was first, the Nets or the Mets, but they literally just rhymed something and hey, this is our name.
They're the New York Metropolitans. That's the dumbest nickname of all time.
Yeah.
Very dumb. Okay. Do you have any more watch trend?
Katie Ledecky in the women's 800-meter freestyle. She has 23 of the all-time fastest times in the 800-meter freestyle.
She's
23. All 23. And some lady, I'm going to butcher her name, Arian Timus, swam, which she was now 24th, and she's the fastest person besides Katie Ledecky.
But in 24th place.
Right. And it also tied Katie Ledecky for 24th.
Yeah, she's ridiculous. Katie Ledecky. I think they joked about naming the event like the Katie Ledecky.
Yeah.
Stupidity. I haven't watched enough Olympics this year, man. That's on me.
It's hard, man.
It is.
It really is hard to.
And
all the good things happen like
midnight.
midnight.
I don't care.
Yeah, I feel you.
My first stupidity. I'll have to put this one on. I think it's my most important. I think it's a genius move. So my first one's going to go to our good friends over at Vols Picks because people believe this. He said, from a close source to the situation, JP actually wanted to hire Sarkisian and was denied by the administration. Then he ends up at Bama. Supposedly JP tried to hire Freeze as OC and was denied that also. He had to settle on Chaney. The school let him down, period. First off, you gave yourself away by saying, like, he said it like it was fact that Jeremy Pruitt wanted to hire Steve Sarkisian. Like, he said that like, oh, yeah, my source said that. All right, so you said it with confidence. Good for you. Maybe somebody believed you. Then you were like, and supposedly JP tried to hire Freeze as OC and was denied that also. So you're telling me you know that Sarkisian was denied, but you're not sure if Freeze was denied? Like, also, he was at Alabama. Sarkisian was at Alabama at the time. He was going to leave Alabama to come to Tennessee?
Yeah, to be an OC. Hell no.
Like,
he just got a head coaching job.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And the fact that people believe that, like the Freeze thing, maybe. But I'm also not believing that much because why would he leave Liberty to be the OC at Tennessee?
And it came from him.
Do what?
And it came from him.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying maybe I could at least believe like there might have been some truth to it. But actually, he was hired in 19. So Sarkisian was hired in 19. I was 1 year behind. Okay, fair. But he had the offer at Alabama and he was going to come to Tennessee. My point stands.
Yeah. And then, let's be honest. If you're playing JG, it doesn't matter if Joe Brady's calling plays. It doesn't matter.
Well, I would like to think better OCs wouldn't play.
But was it their choice? Because if the head guy's making that call, he's still the head guy. With any of those OCs, he's still the head guy. So his say is the final say.
Did Jim Chaney not have just a bag of marbles in his pocket or something to roll out in the hallway of the meeting room to get the number 2 guy in there?
Or like as he goes out for they probably come in there for like a meeting real quick and then go into a team meeting. Is he not just like, shut up?
He couldn't have rookied the year at him and locked him in the locker room.
There you go.
When it was time to head out to the field.
Mm-hmm. No balls.
Disappointing you, Jim Chaney.
Yeah.
You were our savior in 2012. You beat Kentucky.
Do you have any more stupidities?
That's it. That's all I had. That was enough.
I have one more. I'm not going to say who it is. But it was the 400-meter hurdles, the men's 400-meter hurdles. And guy broke a world record. And I think the second guy also
Yeah, I think they both
beat that.
Yeah. He didn't set a world record, but he broke a world record.
And the third guy was right behind. Like, it was like the fourth fastest time ever.
So they drug test them?
Yeah, it should. Something's in the
100%.
water. But somebody said, I don't think y'all know how impressive this is. First of all, we watched on national television, and they literally said how impressive it was.
Well, it's a world record. They didn't have to say it. Like, it's just
right. Yeah, it's the fastest time ever in that event.
I mean, I get if we're going to be fair to that point, there are a lot of people that are like hating on Simone Biles that are like, well, she's a quitter. And it's like, I mean, I'm not claiming her a hero like some people are, but I also can't imagine hurling myself 20 feet in the air and not know where I'm going to land and then just confidently go out and do my routine.
Yeah.
So if we're going to be fair to those people, but those people are really stupid and we shouldn't give them credit. So
I just don't like.
I understand.
I don't know the whole
what a
story.
world record is
right. Yeah, like I know how impressive.
I do know how impressive
that
it is.
But the Simone Biles thing, it's like, okay, you were gonna sit out, and I don't know the reason why she came back, but the fact that she came back is a little weird to me.
So I also did when it was presented to me initially, I didn't think they had an alternate, so I thought they gave up those points. They had an alternate,
right?
So it would be like a running back being like, "Hey, I've got a bum ankle, I can't run,
or I'm not playing in this bowl game."
Or I'm not playing in this bowl game. Fair point. But that would be a gold medal bowl game.
Right.
I don't, first off, the absurdity from both sides is insane. I don't know why people are so stupid. She's not a hero because she sat out. If we want to call her a hero for winning X amount of gold medals, fair. I'll have at it. But right. I mean, it's dumb. And again, I don't know enough about gymnasts. I don't know enough about gymnastics routines. But apparently when you get the twisties, which is an absurd name, find a new name for it. Like the shanks in golf, I know exactly what that means. Twisties sounds like a great time. You got the twisties? What concession stand did you get that at?
That sounds like something that hurts.
See, I'm thinking fun.
I'm thinking like
that's a Dollywood ride. That's twisties? That's a Dollywood ride.
I feel like that's, yeah.
No.
Twisty. Or what was it on the Kevin James movie?
Purple Nurple.
No.
Yes. No,
the guy, his trainer is saying twisty or something like that.
I don't know what movie that is. Is that Here Comes the Boom?
Yeah, that's a good movie. I thought he said twisty.
Maybe he did. I have no idea. I haven't seen that movie. I saw it one time in my entire life, so I have no idea. But yeah, no, I don't know. But initially when it was like she sat out and it was presented to me like she had an alternate, I was like, yeah, that's kind of messed up. Yeah. But then I found out she had an alternate. I was like, that happens literally every day in sports. Every single day.
Literally, two of the fastest Jamaicans didn't even run in the semifinals. They let the alternates run, and then they're going to run in the finals.
Well, also, in fact, let's just like if my football team, if my quarterback, my starting quarterback, he's like, I can't read the defense today. I'm not thinking one step ahead, so I'm not great at, expecting where they're going to be at. I'd be like, hey, man, maybe you should sit down and give somebody else a chance because it sounds like you're going to throw a lot of interceptions today.
Yeah.
And maybe he goes out there and throws an interception. He's like, I just can't see the defense moving. I'd be like, yeah, can we try another guy in here? And I would appreciate it if he was like, I'll sit this one out. I would appreciate it personally. If I'm playing soccer, my goalkeeper's like, I'm not seeing the ball off the foot. I'm like, well, we should go to the number 2 guy.
Yeah, and like as a competitor, like you know when you're putting your team at jeopardy. Like Connor Pavoloni had a perfect quote. I don't remember it word for word, but he said like, I would never, put the team in jeopardy to even if my hand was hurt. Yeah, if I couldn't give them 100%, I wouldn't play.
It's a great example. And the guys that do it, like, you appreciate them for trying, but you're also like, dude, your hamstring's falling apart. Let's sit this one out.
Dude, you
And
can't walk.
I guess that's the challenging part for a lot of people is that it's mental. And a lot of these guys who haven't played athletics past 8th grade don't understand that mental. I mean, it's just like, it is a whole different ballgame at that level. It is a whole different ballgame. So it's just like, I don't know why even people try to make sense of it. I'm like, listen, it's not like she got out there and was like refusing to do it. I don't know. And she's not a hero for quitting. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I feel like I hate that I have to say that out loud, but I have to. So I'm going to. Yeah. I don't know. It's
Is she probably the best to ever do it in that sport? Yeah, absolutely. She can be a hero for that. She's not a hero for sitting out. No.
Yeah, that's it. Again, as a teammate, if she was gonna F it up anyways, I appreciate her not.
Right. Yeah. And if that's how she felt, I mean, that's her choice to do that. No one else can tell her not to. But yeah, she's not a national hero because she sat out of something. No, sorry.
No,
I agree with you. Yeah, that's a good point.
It's hilarious that it's even being talked about. That's another thing when stuff like this happens, it's like I watch maybe one gymnastics routine every 4 years, maybe. So do you. So why are we even like, I feel dumb for weighing in on it. I'll be honest.
Oh, another stupidity, the men's 4x1 team. Oh my god.
Didn't they have just terrible exchanges?
Yeah. And they were they were like minus 200 favorite to win the gold. Like they should have won
this year.
They don't have Usain Bolt. I mean,
they were still pretty freaking good. I mean, maybe all those guys.
Johan Blake was still in it, but I think he's kind of older.
Yeah.
So he's not as fast as he was 8 years ago. Yeah. Apparently, if the U.S. would have just ran correct, they would have just everything went fine. Not even great, just fine. Yeah, they should have won pretty easily.
Cool.
Didn't even make the finals. Trash.
Oh, yeah,
that's what they do that a lot. And like I think in 2008 they dropped the baton.
Are we gonna make fun of them like the basketball team?
I mean, the basketball team figured it out some way somehow. But
isn't that hilarious? It's like if they win gold, who cares how many games they lost prior to that?
Oh yeah.
Like if you win gold, you win gold. And I'm sure people will still be like, oh, they're not that good. I'm like, they want to.
I mean, they played Australia and they were down by 15 at one point and came back and won by like 21.
Yeah, so who cares?
Yeah. And I think they're 0 for 8 at halftime from 3. And I think at one point Australia was 6 for 7. So, I mean, like, that's going to happen. But
shout out to the Vols.
Came back and.
Love it. Well, that's all I've got. Appreciate y'all listening.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Actually, we'll be back Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what time
I should. I hope.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
I'm planning on working on Monday, so I hope to be back.
We're always around. That's the key. Just hang around.
Right. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all listening. Catch you Sunday. We're bringing the boat in, and we